Hello folks, I thought I'd give you a demo of the OpenAPI integration with EventCatalog that was released this week. So the whole idea is we can integrate as many OpenAPI files as we want directly into EventCatalog. And the way we do this is using the generators. So when you build a new catalog from scratch, you will get this thing called an EventCatalog config file. And then down here, we can see that we actually have these generators, okay? And generators are ways, if you don't know, generators are ways to hydrate a catalog of information based on an external system, external API, external broker, or in this case, specification files. So here, as an example, I'm using the generator OpenAPI. In fact, I'm using it many times. And the reason for this is because I want to group my services by particular domains, okay? So as you can see here, we call the service and we specify the path, whereabouts it is. Now, this could be anywhere. In theory, you could even have this on GitHub if you pulled them down and create scripts for all of that stuff. But I've just got them here in this OpenAPI files folder. So I have all my APIs here. I have a cart, order API, order history, payments, and products. So then I'm grouping them in their own domains, right? In their own bounded context. So here I have products, I have shopping, and I have order management. Order management actually has two. It has the order history and the order API, and we've got the we've got the payment one down here. Okay, so multiple different files there. So if we go inside of our specification files, as you can see, we have an OpenAPI specification file. It actually documents a lot of the different endpoints of our system here, and it also documents the routes and the messages that will be put on there. Okay, and there is something I've added actually, which is an EventCatalog extension, which I'm going to come back to in a minute. So the first thing we want to do is open the terminal, and what we're going to do is run npm run generate. Now what this will do is go through all the OpenAPI files, and it will document them for us. As you can see here, we are processing a bunch of domains, and then we are also creating a bunch of messages and services in EventCatalog. So this is cool. So if I clear that, now as you can see down here on the left, we actually have domains created, we have services, and we also have different commands and possibly events if we added them in. And now if I run npm run dev, this will show the catalog on my machine on port 3000. So let's go over there and have a look. So as you can see here, the catalog is loaded, and then we have a bunch of domains and services and messages all down the side there. So what we can do is actually click on a domain, and we can start seeing this is actually a bounded context domain. It's got two different services in here. You can see one down here and one up there. Fantastic. We can go into the services themselves, and we actually see that this service accepts a bunch of commands, the command being list order, get order ID, and another one. Now, one thing EventCatalog is going to support in the future is the idea of queries. So this out here would be a query, this would be a query. So, you know, we've got queries, we've got commands, and we've also got events. So that's the graph. And then if we go into the message itself, we can actually start to see some more information. This is one of the messages. This is the command in this example. This would be a query. But anyway, we can see the route, we can see the parameters, and even we can go down and we see the schema for this whole thing. Okay, and the responses down here. All of this is generated for you in seconds. So that's cool. And then another thing you can do is actually you can see the OpenAPI spec is actually associated to this particular service, and I can click on that and actually see this using this OpenAPI component that's installed in EventCatalog. Cool, so what's next? Well, what about versioning for you, managing versions? So let's have a look and see how that's done. So we head back over to the code, close that. What we can do now is actually have a version for us. So let's look at the orders API as an example. Okay, so let's bump this up to 210. Okay, and what we can actually do down here is change the order schema. Right, I have this created app, but let's say we also wanted to add an updated app field on there. Right, so we added this schema, we've bumped the version, and everyone's happy. So the next thing we do is we run a new terminal and we run generate again. Now what EventCatalog is going to do is going to know that the version was already there, so I'm going to version it for you and create a new message for you. Okay, so imagine now every time your specs are changing between your teams, you can just run generate, and EventCatalog will keep this historic information for you. Now I think this is really cool because it gives you context of what has changed, why it's changed, and you can add all of this information in your change logs in EventCatalog and all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. So let's do a new terminal. So run dev again here and go back to the UI. So remember we updated that version. Let's refresh. We're on 2 here. So EventCatalog knows now that 2.00 is not the latest, so it's asking us to please go visit the latest. Now, if I'm still using 2.00, I can come in and I can still see the OpenAPI spec and all sorts of things, which is really cool. If I click on this, I'm now on the latest version. Okay, but even what's interesting too actually is the versions of the messages have also bumped up. So the get order by ID, if I have a look here, we can actually now see our updated field is on there. Okay, what I can do if I'm still using the old version of this message, I can go back, previous message, and have a look at the schema there and download the schema and all sorts of things. EventCatalog also supports change logs, which I'm going to add functionality for soon, which is automatic diffs between schemas. So you can come in here and you can start seeing why is this changed, what has changed, again, all automatically. And one final thing to show you actually is the use of the extensions that is pretty powerful. So if we go back to our file, let's say this order API, we can see there's this extension here, this X EventCatalog message type. I can change this to a command, or I can change this to an event, okay, or query. Remember, queries are coming soon in EventCatalog. We haven't got them supported yet, but let's change this to an event just to see what happens. So I can save that. This get endpoint is now going to become an event. So let's close that and run the terminal again. So I can see here, that's now generated, and let's run our catalog and go back to the UI. Cool, as you can see here, so let's get this one here, this list orders, which was on the root here. So as you can see, this is actually now an event. Like EventCatalog knows it's an event and will document it as an event for you, which is pretty cool. So there's just something to consider. If you want to document queries, commands, and events from your OpenAPI spec, you can come in here and you can actually use the extension. So to get started, you can check out EventCatalog on the website. Let me just show you. You go to the docs and you can see down here we've got integrations with OpenAPI. We've got all sorts of things, how to get started, what you need to install, what you need to do, and there's example repos and all sorts of things. So if you've got any questions, feel free to join the Discord. Feel free to ask me questions. Yeah, look forward to seeing what you're building. The next integrations that I'm going to be building are Backstage, I believe, and EventBridge is probably up there because, again, community is popular with the community. So thanks for watching if you're still here, and yeah, see you later.